Intarsia is a game for 2 to 4 players in which you have been asked to carry out the work on the valuable parquet floor of Café de Paris and refine it with stylish intarsias. In a contest, you must prove that you understand your craft better than your competitors. Setup. Put the scoreboard in the middle of the table. Each player chooses a scoring marker and places it onto space 0 of the score track. Place one of the light brown markers as a reward marker onto the space with the arrow. Place the 4-point tiles in the center of the scoreboard. Place the second light brown marker as a round marker onto space 1 of the round track. Place the tool board next to the scoreboard. Then take the tool tiles. Depending on the player count, remove some of them. The back of the tool tiles shows which of them are used for 2, 3, and 4 player game. Place these tool tiles face up on the tool board, matching the correct space. If there are 2 tiles for the same space showing different point bonuses, make sure to place the tile with the higher point bonus on top. Sort the material cards by color and place them as 5 face-up material stacks. Sort the wood elements by shape and color and place them next to the tool board. For a 2-player game, remove 4 frames per color. For a 3-player game, remove 2 frames per color, and for a 4-player game, do not remove any frames. Each player picks a floorboard that matches the color of their scoring marker. Decide together whether to use side A or B of the board. Each player takes 1 connector and places it in the center of their board. Take the starting hand cards. Place the card showing 5 card pairs next to the scoreboard in a resting area. Shuffle the other 4 cards and give 1 to each player. Any spare starting hand cards are also placed in the resting area. Gameplay. Intarsia is played over 3 rounds. Each round consists of 3 phases: the preparation phase, the building phase, and the conclusion phase. After the 3rd round, the game ends with the final scoring. Preparation phase. Each player takes the 10 material cards depicted on their starting hand card. These cards and any leftover cards from the previous rounds form the player's hand. Building phase. Determine the starting player for this round. In the first round, the starting player is chosen randomly. In the following rounds, the starting player is the one who was the last to pass in the previous round. Players take turns clockwise performing 1 building action. If they can't or don't want to build, they must pass and drop out of the round. When all players have passed, the building phase ends and you proceed to the conclusion phase. In Intarsia, you create ornaments by assembling wood elements. Each ornament consists of a frame defining its color and can include a midsection, core, and table in that order. Connectors help you to open up space for new ornaments on your floorboard. New connectors can only be placed adjacent to frames, and new frames can only be placed adjacent to connectors. When performing a building action, you add 1 wood element to your floorboard. To pay for it, you must play material cards from your hand. This table describes the cost of each wood element type. The frame costs 1 card of the ornament's color. Each inner wood section costs 1 more card than the previous wood element. For example, to put a core section here, you must pay 3 cards of the ornament's color. In this case, the ornament's color is green, so you must pay 3 green cards. Alternatively, you may trade 2 cards of any color to substitute a green card, or you can play a wild card to substitute a green card. After paying the cost of the wood element, take it from the supply. Note that the number of wood elements in the supply is limited. If a wood element is not available in the supply, it cannot be built. Place the new wood element on your board. The frames must be built on an empty space matching the color of the frame and adjacent to at least 1 connector. Connectors must be built adjacent to at least 1 frame. Midsections, cores, and tables can only be added to existing ornaments, and only in that order. On the tool board, each tool tile shows a point bonus, tool type, and requirement. After building a wood element, check if you meet any tool tile's requirements. If your floorboard has all the needed ornaments, claim the tile and place it beside your floorboard. Keep tiles of the same tool type together. Score the tile by adding its point bonus to the bonuses of all tiles of the same type you've claimed. Advance your scoring marker by the total points. If you claim more than one tool tile on the same turn, make sure that you score them in the order in which you have met their requirements. In 3-player and 4-player games, on each space of the tool board, there may be up to 2 tool tiles. You cannot claim more than one of these 2 tiles. After placing the wood element on your board and optionally claiming a tool tile, you must take new material cards and add them to your hand. The wood element you build this turn determines how many and which cards you can take. If you built a frame, you can't take any new cards. For building a midsection, you can take one card of your choice that is different than the ornament's color and is not a wild card. If you build a core, you can take 2 material cards that are different than the ornament's color and are not wild cards. If you build a table or a connector, advance the reward marker clockwise by 1 or 2 spaces. Then, take the 3 cards depicted on the space. For example, take 2 yellow material cards and 1 wild card. Take 2 material cards of one color and 1 material card of another color. One of these colors may be the same as the ornament. If you choose not to build on your turn, you must pass. Discard your starting hand card to the resting area and reduce your hand to a maximum of 3 material cards. Your turn is skipped for the rest of the round. The building phase ends once all players have passed and the game proceeds to the conclusion phase. Conclusion phase. In the conclusion phase, each player receives points for the connectors on their own floorboard. At the end of the first round, gain 1 point per connector on your floorboard. At the end of the second round, gain 2 points per connector. At the end of the third round, gain 3 points per connector. Advance the round marker to the next space. If the round marker is already on the third space, the game ends. The last player to pass in the current round selects one of the 5 starting hand cards from the resting area. The other players then take one of the remaining cards in a clockwise order. After this, the next round begins with the preparation phase. End of the game. The game ends after the third round. Each player scores the ornaments of their own floorboard. Gain 1 point for each 1-piece ornament. Gain 3 points for each 2-piece ornament. Gain 7 points for each 3-piece ornament. Gain 12 points for each 4-piece ornament. The player with the most points wins. In case of a tie, the player with more tool tiles wins. If still tied, the victory is shared.